So I have a movie here that influenced a certain comic book character. One that is truly legendary in all of pop culture that lots of people know. But they don't know that two artists and one of the storyboarders went and saw The Man Who Laughs from 1928 and noticed the very distinct smile. In an effort to top the critical and financial success of The Hunchback of Notre Dame and The Phantom of the Opera, studio head Carol Leone recruited two influential artists of the German Expressionist school, actor Conrad Veidt, the cabin of Dr. Caligari, and director Paul Lenning, Waxworks. The shadowy exteriors, the carnival setting, and let's see, the demonically misshapen hero made The Man Who Laughs something entirely new to American cinema, the foundation of which upon which the classic Universal horror films would be built. Veidt stars as Gwynplaine, the nobleman's son who is kidnapped by a political enemy, is then mutilated by a gypsy surgeon who covers a monstrous smile on his face. Finding shelter at a traveling freak show, he falls in love with a blind girl, the Phantom of the Opera's Mary Philbin, the one person who cannot be repulsed by his appearance. As years pass, the hands of fate draws Gwynplaine back into the world of political intrigue. He becomes a plaything of a jaded duchess, freaks Olga Baklanova, and his enemies renew their efforts to control him. This is a legendary movie. It is part of it takes some influence from Freaks, and at the same time it's part, I guess, kind of traveling circus set in, what was that, early 1710s France, I would say, England. And of course it's a freaking performance here that this guy gives right here. You can even tell by the smile, because they had dentures put in with hooks that would expand himself like this, so that way he would have this permanent smile. And because he wasn't exactly great at speaking English yet, this actually kind of fitted him well to give more of a personality and performance with like just head tilts and eyes and a little bit, maybe even a little bit of a schnoz. I don't know. So very expressive. And yes, we get to see maybe a little bit of the twitching in the mouth, but considering that the mouth is, it's either the mouth or the eyes that are the most performative expressionist. I would definitely say the eyes, in this case, win. And yeah, Mary Philbin is really gosh darn good, who plays the blind woman. And we get to see her again communicate with her eyes and her mouth, and it's all silent. It's all just this rictus right here, you know? It's not, it's like you look at it and you pay attention to it. And it's just, this is the silent era of movies. You know, it's like, of course, you got all the Gothic, you got all the German Expressionism. Like, what does that mean? Dark shadows, castles high, the walls stand out. You got the ceilings, you got the sets, and everything else that just makes this be really stand out. Arguably, the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari and even Metropolis, in my opinion, are two of the premier German Expressionist movies, and also maybe in paintings as well. Like an hour and 50 minutes, this movie is a little bit atmospheric, given everything that goes on. But you do pay attention and watch, because it's got some political intrigue about the how he's like a peer of the English, was it House of Lords, something like that. I don't know anything about that, so I guess it's just kind of like how I guess Wormtongue in Lord of the Rings was manipulating Theoden. Think like that. How this guy who was deceiving some kings manages to get his self rised up. In fact, I even watched a video about another Greek guy. I forgot whose name it was. they will manipulate, royalty and politicians in order to get what they want. So I guess that this is some kind of their intrigue going on with that right now. So it was interesting to see us like we even get a Queen of England, 1928. There's a big fair that's going on. It's like you got the shows. You even have a crude or very beginning prototype of a Ferris wheel, and there's a camera that's riding this Ferris wheel. It's like 20 minutes in, so that was a very, very unique shot. No roller coasters, of course. Boy, wouldn't that be something? But yeah, I just think that the camera work, it's very good. We get some nice close-ups of the actors' faces. We get to see some of the nice sets. We just get to see it all work out so well because that's Paul Lenny, also worked on The Cat and the Canary, and he put in his own kind of unique visual stamp, I guess you could say. It's like it's this sense of like this feels like it's 1920s sound stage, but somehow it works well enough to make like an English assembly room or an English fair. It works well. So it's like it's like you get all this architecture and everything, and it's like you get the happy ending because it's like this is based off a Victor Hugo book. And you're wondering who is that? He was also a French politician. That makes a lot of sense. He also wrote The Hunchback of Notre Dame and Les Miserables, and he definitely had the influence when writing it. I have not read the novel at all, but it's just the fact that this guy had enough credence to be able to write all these books and be in French politics and everything else. And Lon Chaney, was it senior or junior, was almost guaranteed to be in it. That would have been perfect if senior was in it because he was one heck of a silent movie actor. I think it's something with the contract from one company to another. Ultimately, he didn't do it, but he was this darn close from what people have said. So, also one of the first movies that actually put the sound into the movie, because they're like, they had the silent version, but then you also had the stuff with like the music and everything else, and it's one of the first ones because of the popularity of the jazz singer, if I'm not mistaken, from 1924, and The Cat and the Canary. So it was like beginning to go from complete silence to actually getting music to be interspliced with the with everything going on, and I felt like this was definitely the very beginning. Kino Lorber did a gosh darn good job with this DVD. Yeah, I mean, you get extras in here, an original 20-minute documentary on the making of the film, candid home movie footage of Conrad Veidt and fellow European emigres Greta Garbo, Emil Jannings, and Camilla Horn. Extensive gallery of rare photographs and art. Excerpt of the Italian release version with unique hand-painted title cards and excerpt from Victor Hugo's original novel. And you're wondering, who is this Conrad Veidt? Well, he was glad you asked, my dear viewer. He was actually the Caligarian, the cabinet of said doctor. He was a Jafar in A Thief in Baghdad. Oh, I loved him in that movie. And he was also one of the German majors in Casablanca. This guy has had a legendary ass career. I mean, there's even now the Conrad Veidt Society to CVS, not the store of the same name, but it's like you got this guy. It's led a very great life, and even after that, with that society and its ashes, it's actually really interesting to look up. So yeah, if you're gonna see a movie that's got a little bit of political satire, wondering who the real hero is, and just how it influenced Universal movies, and just an all-around truly fantastic movie that influenced, of course, the Joker, then I highly recommend that you watch The Man Who Laughs.